I coached 65 kids by myself from the middle of a football field for a number of years, and I'll tell you what, you develop a real nice voice. The only problem of it is the neighbors don't like it. But, I looked at the people that are on that committee and I said, my golly, these are people I adore and look up to. And when Paul called me, this was a stunner. I've had a lot of nice things happen over 56 years of coaching, but to come from my peers and the guys that I love and yelled at track meets and told them to get in a coaching box or they're going to get disqualified and all that kind of garbage, you know, that's special. And to see coaches here that I've coached against and with, and Paul said something here that I didn't even think about, helping other people. That's why God put us on the earth. I don't see schools. I see kids that want to be better. And when you're called a coach, there's a certain amount of implication that you know what you're doing. Here's my body, coach. Make me an athlete and make me a better person. That's what coaching's all about. Because he wasn't smart enough to realize that I told my kids, if I help somebody else, you have to work harder to beat him. So I'm the one that gains and not them. So there's a little bit of psychology involved in it. This all started in 1953 when my high school, which is Kenton High School up by Lima, dropped baseball and went to track. And I went out for track on a song, so to speak. I thought I was going to be a sprinter, but 13 flat don't get it in 100 yards. I'm so far behind, those guys were eating lunch before I ever got there. And the night before the first meet, they ran a half-mile time trial, and I blew everybody off the track. But I'd run to school every morning. I ran downtown and what have you. But I did get the pole vault, along with running a half. And that was with an old Swedish steel pole. When you put those things in a steel box, your shoulders feel like they're dislocated. I tried a bamboo pole one time, and I heard it crack. I said, that's the end of that act. And, but anyway, Harlan Kenny was my high school coach, and I absolutely adored that man. He was more influential in me being here today, but he gave me a lot of things that only my father gave me. And I can assure you that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. When I came back out of college and started helping him, he used to say, make sure you go down in the basement and you learn how to throw a shot, how to throw a disc. And we as track coaches think that we're really intelligent. But you know what it takes to throw a shot? 2 steps backwards, a turn, and a throw. You know what it takes to throw a disc? 2 spins and a throw. You can do that on a dance floor. You know, people make things too doggone complex. But anyway, after 4 years, I came to Reading. I went 13 years with no track. My best shot put her through 22 feet. My best miler was 9 minutes. And my shot put her through the thing over the doggone fence and landed on the lady's driveway next door. And I mean, I can tell you horror stories. And the athletic director there was Kenny Powers, who was the football coach, by the way, at Reading, when they beat Junior. And Kenny told me that he was the greatest athlete ever to come out of the state of Ohio. And of course, the Saunders, their grandson ran track for me at Cincinnati Country Day. I tried to get Corey out, but the big horse wouldn't do it. You know, he had a bad experience in the hurdles in the junior high. he decided that he didn't like those fishworms down there. So, but that came from Kenny Powers, and Kenny Powers was the state champion in 1927 in the high hurdles, and they won the state championship at Ashley, which is a little burg outside of Delaware. So he knew what he was talking about. A lot of what I have today comes from the fact that in 1969, Reading built an all-weather track. We were second behind Jack Akes and at Sycamore. that was also the first league championship at Reading. But that gave me a stage to run the big meets, and I enjoyed running the big meets. I miss them today like crazy, but I can't do it, not at my age. We had some of the greatest meets in this part of the country there. The KSC meet got so big I had to run one section at my place, and Charlie Fredericks ran the other one at his place at Forest Park at the same time. And thanks to my daughter over here, Carol, stand up a minute. She's typed an awful lot of track meets, let me tell you. And to kind of switch off here a little bit, I ran the district meet in cross country and track. And when I got to running all those big meets, I had some fella, I don't know what his name is, came over, and I didn't like to go home. Once the meet was over, it was a lot of work, and I didn't want to go home and have to mess with that stuff. First of all, I don't type well. So I hired Don Conley, Big Don over here, come in with his mimeograph machine, and he ran off all of them, and the results would be there right after the meet. And then he and Carol and my daughter Carol took care of all the book work in the district cross country and track meets, which I ran for 12 years. So I didn't have to mess with it. And I hate to say it, but the two Carols did the work. But he just said, "Where's the paycheck?" And he hasn't changed a bit. He's so crooked he can walk over a fire hydrant and never know the difference. But I love the guy. And it's like I taught a class down at Xavier on a learn by doing class when I had a lot of get up and go and was still young. And my star pole vaulter, believe it or not, was Greg Zuliger. Greg, would you stand up? Now I want to let you know that he's a shot and discus coach. I can tell you how high he got. He's barely off the ground. He asked me if I had a matchstick. I said no, that won't work. But over the years, I've had a lot of great athletes, and it's amazing what those athletes have done for me. It's not that I did it for them, it's the other way around. And I have two of them here, Timmy and Bill Martin. Where are you at? You two guys stand. That's two boys off of our state indoor 2-mile relay team. We blew all the AAA schools right off the track up at French Fieldhouse. Bill still owns the record at Reading High School in a mile, 4:28, 4:29, something like that? Yeah, something like that. Well, let me tell you a story. This is a dandy. You won't believe this, but it's true. I had the three boys, three of the four were training. We worked all winter long, but I didn't have a fourth. Tim was on the swimming team. So he finished up, what was it, the night before? Huh? I said, "Get in the bus, baby. You're getting the bus. You're going to Columbus with us." We went up there, and he ran one of the best halves of his life. So it tells you something about swimmers. So, I've done a lot of dumb things, but that was one of the better ones. I don't really know how to thank everybody. I thank all the athletes that have given me so much over the years. I've had every opportunity and every honor that a coach can possibly get. There was one, and it stands out more than any of them, and maybe tells you a little bit more about me. Years ago, not too many years ago, when I was at Reading, a boy came down and on a Saturday and said, "Coach, I knew you'd be here." He said, "I just wanted to tell you something." He was in the oil industry and he was doing quite well. He said, "I really appreciate all the things that you gave me and all those meetings that we had before practice, because I used to talk to the kids anywhere from 15 minutes to a half hour before we ever hit the track, every day." He said, "I've used those all through my life," and he said, I really appreciate it. I ran those 4 years, was the best 4 years of my life, even though I never scored a point for you. That's what coaching's all about. Not me. I'm just tell you, I just love kids, and I love to see them do well for themselves. I don't care how they do it. Just improve yourself, personally and physically. And I need to thank all the coaches. I know I've left out some of you. Barry Binkley used to help me some. All the people that have been a part of my life, I really appreciate it. This is probably the greatest honor I've ever had. And I need to thank my wife, stand up, who let me, she let me spend all those hours at the track, but she always knew where I was. Just down the hill, I wasn't out bopping and a rocking, I'll tell you that. I was down there trying to scratch out some stupid heat in the doggone mud somewhere. and I thank my son-in-law and daughter, my grandson, both grandsons, and my granddaughter who threw the discus for me, because they take me to the Friday night basketball and football games. I still love the ball games. I can't help it. I want to thank you all. This is a great honor, and best of luck to all of you. Thank you.